Hello, beautiful soul, and welcome to the SoulFire Podcast. I'm your host, Tammy Goerke. We're going to talk about all kinds of topics, all centrally focused on inspiring and empowering women. Insights, tips, and tools for living life to its fullest. This is going to be a mix of solo chats and weekly interviews with women who are living life their way, whatever that may be, so that you can envision what's possible for you. I Am Inspiring Women is going to be a subsect of SoulFire Podcast. Not sure if anybody's ever done that, but this is going to be 2 podcasts in one, so hope you enjoy. We'll talk about the ways to have an attitude that will get you through anything, and what you can do to reconnect with your inner child and better manage those reactive emotions. We will discuss how to work through those limiting beliefs and what it takes to be a light in the world. This is a place to discover how other women are thriving in their chosen profession. Whether it's an artist, a business owner, an entrepreneur, stay-at-home mom, we'll discuss the real and honest truth about what being a woman means to us. These women talk about challenges and successes, how they deal with the ups and downs of life. These are real women who are sharing their stories so that you'll be encouraged to live your best life. Inspiration, motivation, and transformation. Let's encourage each other. Let's lift each other up. Let's learn and expand our possibilities in this world. Let's share with each other what being a woman means to us. Life is an adventure, and being a woman right now is the biggest adventure of all. Let me ask you something. Are there times when you feel like you've been working on something that seems like it's taking forever? Whether it's yourself, personal development, working on improving your attitude, or working on anger issues, or working on your spirituality and, trying to improve your connection to spirit and get more connected to your own intuition. Or maybe it's a big project and it's something that you've been working on for a long time. Seems like you are nowhere near getting done. Or anytime you feel like you're getting somewhere, you're making some progress, all of a sudden something happens and you end up taking a couple steps back. And you're working on this, whatever it is, this project or yourself. And all of a sudden something happens, some small thing, and it may seem like nothing, but all of a sudden you've been making progress and moving along and creating that momentum, and all of a sudden that ball starts rolling and it starts actually gaining speed, and all of a sudden you realize everything that you've been working on is coming to fruition. You notice changes about yourself if you're working on your personal development, or if you're working on your spirituality and you're working on your intuition, you realize that you start paying attention more to the synchronicities, and you notice more signs around you, or you're following your intuition a little bit better, and you're in the right place at the right time, meet the right people, and get the right thing, whatever that might be. Or with a project that you're working on, all of a sudden everything seems to fall into place and seems to click. And that breakthrough, when that breakthrough happens and you realize that all of the work that you've put in is well worth it, that feeling is absolutely phenomenal. You realize that, oh my gosh, I've been doing this stuff and I feel like I've not gotten anywhere. I've been doing this forever. And all of a sudden, something clicks. You get that shift. That feeling is the best feeling ever. Because now you know that regardless of what is to come and how much work you've got to put into this thing, you know that you're making progress. You know that you're moving forward, and you don't feel like this is going nowhere and, you're on a dead-end street. And it's a great feeling. But what happens if you're not getting there? What happens if you're not getting that breakthrough? So there are so many different things that we can do to help us continue to move forward. There's that saying about not stopping 3 feet from gold, meaning that all we have to do is take that extra few steps, or work on ourselves just a little bit more, or, work a few more weeks, months, years, whatever, on that big project. Not give up on ourselves, not let ourselves get into that place where we feel like we're not making any progress. Are we working on clearing the clutter of our minds, of the negative voices, the BS that's going on in our head and telling us that we're not making any progress? Paying attention to those voices and those words that we're telling ourselves makes a difference on us continuing to move forward and not giving up. I know a couple things that helped me with my personal development were journaling, EFT. If you don't know what that is, that's emotional freedom technique, and that's tapping on the meridian points on your face and upper body. And it seems like something simple. Both of those things seem like very easy, very simple things. How can they possibly do anything to impact my moving forward on my personal development, or my moving forward on my spiritual beliefs and me connecting better to my intuition, or even my moving forward on this big project and getting those negative voices out of my head? They make a difference. So you've got to find a technique, something that works for you, that helps you create that breakthrough that makes you feel like you're actually moving forward and not moving back. There are going to be times when you take 2 steps forward and 1 step back, and that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. It's perfectly all right. All of us fail and fall backwards sometimes. But how you see that failure and how you see that problem determines on how quickly you're going to get past it and move forward. So if you're using techniques to help you move forward, if you're journaling, or you're paying attention to the voices, or you've got an accountability partner, or you've got a mentor that you're working with, someone that's helping you, keep on track and help you to stay out of that misery zone and moving forward. Do you have those things in your life? Or are you struggling to do all this stuff by yourself? Sometimes that breakthrough comes from someone saying something to you, helping you to realize the progress that you've made. I don't know about you, but I know that for myself. So I have been working on 3 major projects in the past 2 years. 2 years. It's not a long time in the grand scheme of things, but it's a long time for me to be working on 3 different projects. One of them is my book, one of them was my oracle cards, and one of them was this podcast. Life got in the way, and I felt like I wasn't moving forward. Roy got sick, and then, we have bills to pay, and we've got medical that we've got to deal with, and the business is gone to hell because we're not working, because we're focused on, getting Roy better. And so we've got to build the business back up so we can pay our bills. And all of these things take time, and all of these things get in the way of me working on those projects. But I didn't stop working on them. Even though I couldn't work on them as much as I wanted to, even though I wasn't spending the time that I wanted to spend on those projects, I was still working on them. I was still putting a little bit of time in here whenever I could grab a little bit of time. And that may have been 10, 15 minutes. It may have been 2 hours. But I didn't give up on myself. I had Roy kicking me in the butt a lot of times, and I had a lot of my friends and a lot of my accountability partners and mentors telling me not to give up and saying, oh my gosh, if you've got something to say, you've got to share what you want to, your voice, and you've got to be out there in the world. Even though there were times when I didn't feel like I had anything to say. When I felt like, what is it that people want to hear from me? I get that, people like being around me, but it's because I like being around people. I enjoy making people feel good and being happy and being in a great mood. So how does that translate into a message? So I had all these voices in my head telling me all these stupid reasons, all these dumb excuses, all this bullshit that was not true, that ego getting in the way and trying to protect me from myself and saying, oh, you don't need to finish these projects. They're no good. They don't need to be out there. They're, who's going to watch them? Who's going to read them? Who's going to listen to them? Who's going to want to use them? All of these things. But if I didn't continue, and I didn't do the journaling, and I didn't do the EFT, and I didn't use those techniques, if I didn't have the accountability, if I didn't have friends and family encouraging me, even complete strangers encouraging me, saying, oh my gosh, I love being around you. You've got this great personality. You need to be doing something where you're helping more people. If I didn't have that, then this would not have come about. I would not have finished these projects. These would not be out into the world. Now, they're not perfect. And trust me, I am a struggling perfectionist. Or recovering, I guess I should say. I am a recovering perfectionist. It bothers me that these things are not perfect, that my book is not perfect, that my cards are not perfect. Trust me, I'm going back and redoing my cards, and there's going to be another set out there that's going to be more updated. that's not going to have the spelling errors, that's not going to have the writing so small. I come up with all kinds of reasons as to why they're not perfect. Trust me, whether they make sense or not, it doesn't matter. Get yourself out there, move yourself along, create that breakthrough by creating the momentum and moving yourself forward. Don't give up on yourself. Don't allow your ego to tell you things that are not true. Where are those beliefs coming from? Where are those thoughts and those words coming from? Are they yours? Or are they from a past voice, a teacher, a mentor, a parent, a family or friends, or somebody who's trying to protect you, in their own way? But those are not truths. Those are not true for you. So what is it that you need to do to be able to create that breakthrough that makes you feel like you're actually moving forward on your dreams, your goals, your mission, whatever it may be? When you feel like you're getting stuck and you feel like you're not making any progress, find something that helps you take just that one little step forward. Even if it doesn't necessarily feel like it's a step forward, because I'm writing in my journal, I'm taking time for myself, those are very important things that you need to do. If you're not taking time for yourself and you're not allowing for you to work through those issues or those words and voices that are coming up, then how do you expect to realize when you are making progress? I have a hard time with that myself. It's like I move forward and I keep going from one project to another. And even when I finish a project, I don't reward myself the way that I should. So I don't realize the amount of progress that I've made unless I'm doing something like journaling that I can go back even a month or two, a week or two before and say, holy crap, I've actually gotten something done. I've actually accomplished quite a bit. I've done a lot of work. It doesn't seem like it when you're in the midst of it and you're busting your butt and you're concentrating on what you need to accomplish. But when you look back and you realize just how much work you've put into it, that is another way of allowing you to realize and creating that breakthrough where you feel like, oh my gosh, I am doing something. I am moving forward. I am improving myself. I am working and creating a greater connection to my intuition and to my spirituality. I am creating that project. And I do have 4, 5, 6, 10 chapters. And I have so many podcasts out there, whatever it is that you're working on. Or I've created this course and I do have the text and the pictures and the videos together. And I've gotten a lot of work done. Congratulate yourself. Allow yourself some small wins and recognize that breakthrough and that moment where you are in the middle of that momentum and moving and that ball is rolling. Because it's a great feeling. Once you realize it, you're like, holy crap, this shit's working. I got this. Oh my God, I'm moving forward. If you're working on your intuition and you're walking down the street and something makes you turn and you realize that you recognize what that something is, whatever it's a feeling or whatever it is, and you turn around and you happen to bump into somebody that you haven't seen in a long time and you strike up a conversation and you realize that this is the person that you were meant to meet at that moment or reconnect with at that moment because maybe they have a little bit of information that sparks that sparks that breakthrough for you. You never know when it's going to come. But if you're not aware of it and you're not paying attention, it can roll right on by and you're none the wiser. And it's frustrating. It's trust me, it is frustrating when you realize, holy crap, I've actually gotten further. I had a lot of breakthroughs and I didn't even realize it because I was so busy moving and not paying attention to what I was actually doing. Take some time. So, write in your journal, do some EFT, do some transformational work. Pay attention to just how much work has actually gone into that project, whether it's yourself or something that you're creating. It doesn't matter. Pay attention to it and acknowledge it and congratulate yourself for it. Because you've come a long way. You really have. You have made progress. You are a different person, a better person than you were yesterday, even than you were 5-10 minutes ago. You're a completely different person. And as you grow and as you become more of who you're meant to be, the more breakthroughs you're going to have, the more amazing life is going to get. And trust me, it gets pretty freaking good. It's a phenomenal life. But if you don't know, because you aren't paying attention, because you aren't noticing the breakthroughs that you have, if you aren't noticing the changes in your life, if you aren't paying attention to the movement and the momentum that you've created, slides on by, and next thing you know, you're like, nothing's happened. But when you look back and somebody says something to you, like, oh my God, that overnight success thing, there are no overnight successes. It's you moving forward and not giving up on yourself and congratulating yourselves for the breakthroughs that you have and doing the work and not giving up on yourself. So don't give up on yourself, because trust me, I know that there's something out there that you are meant to do. There's someone out there that you're meant to impact, and there's something for you, whatever it is, whether it's you just looking at yourself and improving yourself and being a better beacon of light and love in this world, or you creating something that impacts somebody in the world, or even if it's just you creating a greater connection with your intuition and living your life more in line with the way that you're meant to live your life, listening to your soul and being happy and joyful and following your bliss. Hell yes. That is what, oh my God, I'm going to cry. That is what life is all about. Is you following your bliss and you living life on your terms. Yes, you do have to consider the people around you, but you know what? If you're happier and you're living life the way that you know you're meant to be living and doing the things that you know you're meant to be doing, people around you are going to be happier. Because when you're miserable, nobody wants to be around you, and nobody wants to be around somebody who's miserable. So start journaling, writing out the things that you enjoy doing. Do some EFT. If you don't know what EFT is, then you can DM me and I can go over it with you. Or you can Google it, YouTube it, find out what it is. And trust me, it will change your life. Work on that project that you've been wanting to work on, and do not give up on yourself, because you've got this. Trust me. So don't forget, live life adventurously, because that's the only way to live life. I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you did, please subscribe. Then I will see you next time. Talk to you later. Bye.